Hey everybody, Michael here from Replica Air Guns with another, well, I'm going to call it a tabletop video, but we're not on the table. It's really hard to do tabletop videos with larger guns. This one's kind of right on that threshold where I kind of could do it on the table, or I could just, hold it here and show you around the gun and get in close, just bring it in close and stuff. And, these videos are a little bit less cut up. I can't really fix them as easy. You're going to see me jumping around as I cut the video. So we're just going to, I have to read off of here because I forget half of the stuff I'm talking about. When I do my tabletop videos, you don't see this, but it's there. And so let's talk about this R1. This is the Fallen Patriots R1. So it's basically a different color scheme than the traditional R1, which I'll compare it to in a second here. So it's really the same gun. So, if you want to know how it performs, then you can watch the R1 field test shooting video. I will probably do a field test shooting video for this just because they're so much fun to shoot. I don't see it really performing any different than the R1. Unless Crosman did a little, small change internally or something. I don't think they would have. They've been making this AR series for a while now. But essentially, we're going to go over, some basic features. We're going to go over pros and cons. I'll do some close-up video for you guys as close as I can get in here with this camera setup. If you're interested in buying it, this gun should be, it's generally speaking, will be available in our Canada and our US stores over at replicaAirguns.ca for Canada and replicaAirguns.us for the US. So check out those locations online. And again, no shooting test for this one just yet, but check out the R1 field test if you want to know kind of how this performs right now. Let's get into the specifications right now, and we'll get in close in a bit here. So it's a 4.5 millimeter steel BB rifle, as we all know. Full blowback operation. So it's got internal blowback. It uses a dual CO2 setup in the magazine that holds 25 shots. So it holds the BBs and the CO2 and the dual CO2, that is. So it's really cool. It's a nice heavy magazine, and they work in all the guns. So even though this one looks a little different coloration-wise, you can put it in any of the AR series guns. It is semi and full auto selectable. It has a selector switch on the left-hand side here, so not on the right, on the left. It's not ambidextrous for safe semi and full auto. And it shoots up to 430 FPS at up to 1,400 rounds per minute in full auto mode. So it's a lot of rounds per minute. It really gets through that magazine quickly. This gun weighs about 6 pounds and has mostly a lot of metal parts. It does have a plastic receiver, but there's lots of metal parts in it. It is a two-piece, top receiver, lower receiver type setup. And in some of my videos, or a couple of the earlier videos, I did take it apart. So watch some of the earlier DPMSR or whatever videos. You might see me actually taking it apart in those ones, doing like a field strip. All right, this one comes with flip-up sights, so it's a little different than the R1, which I'll show you in a second. It comes with flip-up sights rather than, if you're getting the tan version of the R1, you're going to get a red dot, a little red dot, that is. Nothing fancy, but a nice red dot. So you can put a red dot on here if you want to. And it has a 6-position adjustable AR stock, so you can actually put an AR stock on here if you want to, so it's not proprietary. Non-rifled barrel, as you would expect. AR-compatible pistol grips, so lots of AR compatibility here. And lots of places to mount accessories because you've got your rail, top, sides, right, and bottom. Lots of places to mount hardware on this gun. And again, you can take apart the top and bottom receiver and field strip this gun and take out the bolts and all that kind of stuff. It's got a buffer tube type thing, everything, all that stuff. Very similar to a real steel gun, the real steel AR, including the bolts, the dust cover, all of that, the charging handle, everything's very similar. Again, working charging handle, dust cover, magazine release, bolt release, and selector switch. And it does come with a speed loader. So we'll talk about some of the stuff that's in the box. You get the speed loader, which you're going to need, because 25 rounds gets out of this gun real quick. I'm not going to show you around the manual. You've seen these guys, but all the information you need. Little manual, you're going to need your reading glasses like I'm using to read the small fine print. And you get a little Velcro patch, which is kind of neat, right? And what does it say? It says, I can barely read it. It says Fallen Patriots. College for their children. Okay. Anyways, maybe you can read that. That's what you get. Sort of rubberized. I haven't actually opened it up, but it's Velcro on the back. So you get that. And of course you get the gun with the pop-up sights. Anything else I can mention here? Again, it's based on the classic M4AR platform, and this gun is made in Taiwan. It does come in a cardboard box. I'll show you around that box right now. Right? Okay. Crosman. Right? Nice graphics. You get the coloration of the fallen Patriots on it as well. Okay, some information on the back. If you want to freeze it, you can. Right? 430, 1400. Picture of the gun with some parts and stuff. Okay, enough of the box. Let's just do a quick comparison to the R1. So really, it's the same gun. Same, right? You look at it, it's the same gun. All you're getting is different color scheme, and instead of the pop-up sights, you get a red dot. Okay, so you can see that. Pop-up sights, red dot. But, you know, you can put a red dot on here. I think, personally, it just looks good with classic hardware on here, you know. Iron sights with this gun looks really good. If you put a red dot on it, I think it's gonna, I mean, it might perform a little better, I guess. These sights are pretty good though. We're gonna do the testing with these sights, so that'll tell you a little bit how these sights perform when I do the field test. But you could put a red dot on here, whatever you want, right? But other than that, the magazines are literally the same. The internals are gonna be the same. You could probably mix and match these parts, no problem. Again, I don't believe Crosman's changed anything internally. There's nothing really that needs to be changed. This gun has been performing well for us. Let's just quickly take a look at this gun. Okay, this is the close-up portion of the video. So you have a flip-up sight. It would be nice if it kind of clicked in. It's just sort of friction-based. I like the ones that kind of have the springs. But you could change them if you want. You could change these to some other Picatinny style, right? You got your flash hider here. You've got your front handguard rail set up here, right? And I believe it's plastic as well. Yeah, it looks like it's plastic. Top receiver, definitely plastic. You've got your dust cover, which opens up. Bolt release on the other side, which I just used there. Magazine release here, right? Okay, I don't have any CO2 in this one, but that's okay. Got your charging handle. I love the coloration. Right? You've got this forward assist that's just for show. There's, you can see here, that's where if it was ambidextrous, that's where the selector switch would be. You got the red inside here in the barrel too. That looks really good. I just love the coloration. And you've got this, I'm not going to call it blue or purple. It's like right between the two. A magazine, and it's traditional magazines. I mean, you've all seen these guys, right? You put your CO2 in there. You've got a little Allen key built in here. There's instructions on which one to put first. There's one, you put the first one, I believe is, what does it say here? Yeah. First is this one, outside one, and then the inside one. And then you theoretically could just use the one CO2, but it's going to slow the FPS down pretty quickly. I'd recommend going with two CO2s, but let's say you had one CO2 left. Well, you could go for it that way. It's stuck. Come on. Close up. There we go. Okay. And there's your magazine follower, right? You got a little hole there for loading it, and then you release the follower. The follower will engage will stop the bolt, so it'll actually lock back the bolt. When the follower gets up to the top, that locks back the bolt, so you know you're empty. You're not just dry firing this gun, wasting CO2. Let's take a look at the other side. So here's some more great stuff. You got some instructions there, right? Serial number. There's your selector switch, right? Clicks nicely when you get into each position. There's your charging handle. There's your rear sight. It's a peep sight. Okay, it looks like a dual setup. So you see you've got your smaller one in the back, larger peep in the front. Just pop it up. It's kind of a neat design, actually. I like that. I haven't seen that before. And then, of course, you've got your AR rear stock. No real padding on here, but you could maybe put some padding or just change this up. And, of course, AR interchangeable pistol grip. And again, nice metal highlights throughout this gun. Really does look good. Sweet looking gun. All right. Let's talk about pros and cons. Other page. All right. So These are my pros and cons. You might have your own, but this is what I put on the paper here. So I like the color scheme. The color scheme on this gun, to me, is awesome. Just that alone is worth getting this gun. If you're going to buy any of the Crosman AR series full auto BB rifles, I'd probably buy this one first. I mean, there's other ones too. Why not have the whole kit and caboodle? Or at least, you know, they've got the AK-1, they've got a whole bunch of Thompson, they've got the Tommy gun, they've got the grease gun coming. No, that's Umarex. Umarex does the Tommy gun and the grease gun. Crosman does the AK and the AR at this point. But you never know what they're going to come out with. Oh, they also have, shoot, what's it called? I can't remember. That really cool futuristic looking one that's kind of white and black. I've totally forgotten the name. I'll put it up on the screen. So there's that one too, which is kind of neat. It's sort of modular. All right, let's get into this. Super realistic working M4 AR 4.5 millimeter BB rifle, just like the other Crosman rifles in this lineup. So very, you know, if you're into ARs, this works pretty much the same. It's going to function a lot the same. So great for training, you know, in your basement or whatever backyard. Full blowback operation with both semi and full auto shooting. You can feel the blowback operation rocking the gun a little bit. So it doesn't rock it so much that in full auto, the group starts to spray around like, say, the mini Uzi, which just hammers back and forth. It's like spray and pray. This gun actually stays on target pretty good, but you can feel that blowback not too bad. It's got a really good weight and feel. 6 pounds. It feels nice and solid in the hand. Even though there's some plastic in it, there's also a lot of metal. And again, almost everything works exactly like the real steel version. Charging handle, dust cover, bolt release, magazine release, selector switch, all of that works the same. And you have the dual CO2 full dropout metal magazine that holds the 25 rounds. You might wonder why it's only 25 rounds. They did try a higher capacity magazine that was double stacked, but it was jamming up, and so they went with this style because it just worked better. I think that's pretty smart. And you get your included iron pop-up sights. You can add a red dot if you want to, but I like the classic look personally. Lots of rail mounting options for additional hardware. And it has the removable flash hider, which I didn't mention. So you could change this if you want to. Put a different one on. It spins off. If you want to take it off completely or extend it or put maybe some sort of a mock suppressor on there, you could. All right, a couple cons. It's a plastic build. Some people might not like that, but one thing about plastic is if I scratch it, underneath this color of plastic is the same color. So when you scratch it, it's not as noticeable as, say, if you scratch painted or anodized metal, and then let's say it's gray or black, you scratch it, all of a sudden you see silver. So that can actually be a disadvantage. And also, typically speaking, when air guns are made out of metal, it's usually a zinc alloy, called considered a pot metal, which isn't that strong. It's a lot more brittle than actual real steel, you know, that they use, actual gun metal that they use to make real guns. So plastic might actually be more resilient. It's got a little bit of give if you drop it. Of course, everything can break if you abuse it. So just, you know, take care of your guns. And again, no red dot on this version, which to me is kind of a plus because I like the look. This gun's all about the looks more than I think the performance, but I have no doubt that it'll perform just as good as the regular R1 at the end of the day. Even with these sights, I think these sights will work just fine. All right, so again, if you're interested in buying this gun, Canada, US stores, replicaairguns.ca for Canada, replicaairguns.us for the US. We have a whole ton of other products in those stores. If you're not interested in this product, other air guns, BB guns, airsoft guns, pellet guns, blank guns, and accessories, then check out those 2 locations. And I'll also put a written post over on our blog at replicaairguns.com, so you can check out you know, this gun, the written version of this tabletop. We'll call it tabletop video, right? And there'll be some additional pictures there too, but most of the cool stuff's in this video. All right, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Until next time, take care.